Hello there. Just a video about the Stokes and Atkinson incident and the ramifications for English cricket. Now, in a sense, what Stokes and Atkinson have done isn't too bad. Um, it seems to me that the main crime was kind of breaking the curfew. When you read about the incident, or when one reads about the incident, it seems like um, the rugby player for Saracens was culpable. But I don't know the full details. It seems to me, like I say, that the curfew incident, the breach of the curfew, was the important issue. Now, you might well think, what is the issue? Why is breaking the curfew so important? It's kind of uh, a low level offence, really, and not worth such a kind of drastic, such drastic measures, basically. The reason is twofold. One, because on tours to New Zealand and Australia last winter, there were kind of similar incidents outside of cricket at night time. But also, I suppose more importantly, that this side is skating on thin ice. Gordon Thompson, who really a bit like British Leyland in the 70s, were kind of unable to sack McCollum and Key and Stokes as captain after the Ashes debacle, but did kind of leave them a bit neutered or kind of moderated, which kind of gave us the worst of all worlds, where Stokes looked kind of permanently cheesed off, um, and McCollum was going to have to kind of check himself a bit, and also had to do the things he didn't like doing, like pay more attention to county cricket, and uh, and actually trying to have tactics other than just go up and play lads. And so it meant, well, if you're going to try and make McCollum into Gary Kirsten, why not just have Gary Kirsten or whoever you want, Justin Langer, etc. So we had this situation. Um, so given the fact they'd um, kind of breached kind of disciplinary matters on previous tours, and the fact that the side had failed so badly in Australia. Remember, this is a side that went to Australia after 4 years of preparing for that tour, treating every single test match as preparation for that tour. Um, I think when they got to Australia, having no practice for the series, and when people legends of the game like Gooch and Boycott suggested they had more practice, were told that they were has-beens by the likes of Ben Stokes. So this didn't really engender much sympathy when they fell on their face and lost 4-1. And all the people who kind of warned them about this kind of one-dimensional approach to cricket, lack of preparation, um, just said, "I told you so," which is most people, except for some of the client journalists we had at Sky and Wisdom. It, it was quite clear that if you don't do much practice, you can do things like drop loads of catches, like they did in the second test, and also you do have to actually um, sit in sometimes and not play a shot of ball. And if you don't, you just lose loads of wickets in clusters, like they did in the first test of that Ashes series, where a collapse really cost them the match and also the series. So we had all of this. We also had this idea of very entitled players. And someone like Archer, for instance, who's paid, I think, £1 million approx, I don't know exactly, something like that, was able to miss the first test and possibly will miss the second one because he was in the IPL. And there was no kind of like strings attached. It's just all kind of carrot and no stick. So, given all of this, given the fact they were almost metaphorically on a yellow card, this incident could well be the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, I would not really be into. I would have sacked McCollum, Key, and Stokes as captain after the Ashes debacle. I think that was it. I think that was like I don't know if you remember David Cameron after calling a Brexit referendum, campaigning on it, and losing it, he just had to go. And I think this was very similar. After spending all that time preparing for an Ashes series, um, playing this new, in inverted commas, revolutionary type of cricket that people said was flawed, and they just kind of stuck their fingers in their ears about, and losing heavily, um, that was it. That what they said wasn't true, and they'd failed massively with their big project, and that was it. And it's almost like, well, after this, don't even if you beat New Zealand and Pakistan, um, we still think you're shysters, basically. So, uh, given all of that, um, I would have been happy to see them all go. In saying that, it's a bit of a funny way for Stokes to go, who is a legend of the game, a legend, definitely an England legend. Uh, I'm not Mr. Sentimental, but it would have been nice for him to have a kind of send off. His powers are definitely on the wane. He's not going to get many more runs in his Test career. He is bowling quite well though, but how long will that last? Given all his injuries and whether his remains to be seen whether his body will hold up. He has missed a series with injuries in recent years, um, so he was kind of on his way out anyway. But maybe this has quickened it. I don't know if he would have been um, much cop for next year's Ashes at 36 without scoring many runs. Another year older. I don't know how influential he would have been. It's possible he could have swung a few tests because he's a big match player. He's got a good cricket brain, but uh, it probably was the right time for him to go this summer. It's just I don't think it's a particularly nice way to go. I'd rather he just I don't know had played this series against New Zealand and then just kind of signed off in a way that someone like Alistair Cook did against India or Stewart did against South Africa. But Key gave him a further 2 year central contract, which isn't up until October 2027. So I don't know if the ECB are going to have to pay him off, which is more money wasted. Um, so yeah, so it remains to be seen what happens. Ideally, I don't think this is the best way for Stokes to go. I'd kind of like to see him come back and go out this summer with a bit more kind of dignity. As for Atkinson, I mean, look, he went with the captain. The captain, if the captain's taking you to a club, it's a bit unfair, really, to be punished. Um, so I'd be lenient on Atkinson. I thought he played really well in the last test, and he's relatively young, so I wouldn't want to see him punished too much. And then I think probably it might be it might be a real idea at the end of this New Zealand series for McCollum and Key to go and hopefully on their own accord, so we don't pay them compensation, and Stokes to retire. And then with the Pakistan series, Pakistan who are not as good as New Zealand, and this is one of probably Pakistan's worst teams, or probably the less kind of good team. It's not terrible, but they're not great at the moment. A new coach and new captain there might be a great way to start, actually. So maybe that's the best way forward. Maybe it's a bit of a middle way between what we've been hearing today.